Hi everyone, Tony from Hack the Movies here, and today we're talking about Return of the Living Dead, which is a zombie movie for people who like to party. Today I'm talking about tapes.
Tapes, we're talking about tapes.
Hi everyone, Tony from the future here. I want to thank all my patrons and channel members who got to watch this episode early for letting me know about all the horrible things the actor who played Scuzz did in real life. Some of you were shocked that I didn't know, but that's because I didn't watch the Nickelodeon documentary. I just had other things to watch, and, the subject matter, didn't really do it for me. I didn't really want to know. I mean, I'm aware all that stuff happens. I just didn't want to know more about it because it's horrifying. But yeah, you all left me a million comments, which means a lot of you are actually enjoying the early episodes, so thank you. So yes, I don't mention it in the video. It just never came up. I was unaware that he was even in the film, and that's who played Scuzz. So I'm just letting you know ahead of time. I'm aware. Please don't leave a comment about it. And thank you for being patrons and channel members for watching this early and letting me know. Ryan Hickey.
Yes, sir.
I have a question for you.
Yes.
Do you want to party? It's party time!
I'm always in the mood for partying, especially when it's party time.
Yeah, I have another question for you.
Yeah.
Who is to your right? Can you properly introduce yourself? Properly introduce yourself right now.
Why are you doing it like that? Why are you doing it so aggressively?
Because the internet did that to me for many years. So you have to properly introduce yourself.
Dixie Delamorto, and I'm certified punk.
Yes.
Certified troublemaker.
I'm a troublemaker. I'm a rascal.
Artist.
Yeah.
And
I make shit.
She also played Mrs. Myers in her Halloween
I did.
parody.
Yeah. I'm one of, 3 actresses who have that honor.
Yeah.
Me and Sherry Moon Zombie. I'm coming for you, Sherry Moon.
And whoever that broad in the original one
exactly.
was.
I think that was
of you.
literally the only thing she ever did. So, yeah. My IMDb is bigger than hers. So, cred.
Yes, we were talking about Return of the Living Dead.
Oh, yeah.
Which I own on DVD, Blu-ray, and thanks to Dixie, I have a giant novelty VHS tape of it now. But I don't have a giant novelty VCR.
I wish you would have brought your giant novelty VCR, because how are we going to watch this? How are we going to watch that?
We would need a giant novelty TV. This was funnier the first time we do it.
Funny the first time.
It's not that hard
fine.
to get a big TV. That's why this joke fails, because you can go to Best Buy and get a
Look.
fucking TV.
Look. The joke
You would
was
know,
funnier.
you
The joke was
corporate
funnier
pig.
when I did it the first time before I
Not
realized I
sponsored.
wasn't recording
Yeah.
audio. So Return of the
The
Living Dead.
spontaneity is dead.
Now this is directed by Dan O'Bannon. Old cranky man Dan O'Bannon.
Very nice. I love that he always wore a bow tie in all of his interview stuff. He looks like such a nerd.
Yeah,
It's amazing.
He did come off as a big nerd. I used to love his interviews and like these DVDs and like the Alien DVDs. They were so much fun. He directed this. It was written by John Russo, who wrote the original one. He wrote the book Return of the Living Dead, which I never read. Did any of you read it?
I did.
I
read both,
And
actually. There's
do
actually
you
2
own it?
versions.
Yeah.
There's 2 versions of it.
Yes.
There's the version that he wrote before the movie was made.
Okay.
And then there's the version that he wrote after Dan O'Bannon completely rewrote his script.
Oh, okay.
So he wrote 2 versions, and they're both real weird and not quite like the movie. But they're both good.
Okay. Yes, and John Russo, he also, like I said, wrote the original Night of the Living Dead. And then for the 30th anniversary, he did something like really stupid. He took the original movie and then he wrote and directed like new scenes. What asshole would write and direct and add new scenes to Night of the Living Dead? The answer is me. And you can watch it on this channel. It's called Hack the Living Dead. And I was inspired by John Russo to ruin something that was perfect. I think we can all agree Hack the Living Dead is better than the Night of the Living Dead 30th anniversary.
That's fair.
Absolutely.
Which-
I would agree with that.
This
for sure.
Night of the Living Dead DVD here is signed by the first zombie in Night of the Living Dead.
Okay.
Nice.
And they had him shoot new scenes, but it was 30 years later.
Oh,
It's like,
no.
wow, that corpse really goes up and down in age between cuts. That's
Yeah.
a little bizarre.
Should just reshot the entire thing.
That's fair.
Yeah, and I guess they made this movie. What is your experience with Return of the Living Dead? When did you first see it?
Oh God. Okay. Well, I was babysitting
Okay.
And the people that had these children, they were psychotic, first of all. All the kids' favorite movies were horror movies. So it was like, there were like 3 movies, actually 4 movies, but one of them was a Pauly Shore movie. Okay. And like,
Are
so
you saying
I was
I'm
like,
also psychotic?
yeah, you are. So yeah, it ended up being that or Halloween 3, which was nice. And then Warlock, which I'm not a huge fan of.
Wow.
So I would usually skew it towards Return of the Living Dead, but that was the first time we watched the shit out of it. That was like over and over again for those kids. And then I never stopped watching it. I just love it.
But I feel like once you start watching this movie, you can never stop watching. I watch it all the time. When did you first see this?
I don't remember. I think I was a teenager, but it was one of those things where I was a massive punk for years and years and years, and I was like, punk movie? Okay, I'll watch it. And then it wasn't serious, and I was like, I don't know how I feel about this. I'll keep watching it. And then, the effects and all this stuff. I'm like, okay, all right.
I like this now.
These punks aren't really punk, but it's pretty
You're
fucking
like that
cool.
guy only has 1 chain in his nose.
ugh.
I have 5 in my nose.
It's like they don't even have real mohawks. That's a terrible wig. That's awful.
Oh God!
But
the hair in that movie is atrocious.
By the end of it, I just stopped and rewatched it. I was like, oh, I fucking love this movie.
Yeah.
This movie is so good. I haven't stopped since.
So my first exposure is my grandfather took us to the video store. My cousin rented this one. Now, famously on this show, my grandfather and my family didn't really give a shit about what we watched unless it had like a little too much nudity. So there were only like a few movies I remember him turning off. One was Jason Goes to Hell, because that sex scene in the tent goes on a little too long. It was one of those like, boobs are fine, but it's like, okay, this is getting uncomfortable with my grandkids in the room. Let's but no, when Linnea Quigley starts stripping, I just remember my grandfather going, this movie's sick, and turned it off.
Wow.
And then I had to wait years later till like it was on premium cable, because I'm like, I want to know how that movie ends.
Yeah.
And I would just watch it all the time when it was on cable. I also fell in love with it. It was good that I had like a cliffhanger. I'm like, what happened after she danced on the thing?
Sitting there waiting for years, like, what is the rest of that movie? I love that movie.
That was like, if you go back to the Bram Stoker's Dracula, the same thing happened there, where I was very young and my mom turned it off at the baby eating scene.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
So for years, I just thought that's how the movie ended. I'm like, oh, wow, there's more? Oh, good. I thought there was a weird note to end your movie on. Yeah, but I remember being like really disturbed by like the early things in the film and remembering them so much like afterwards until I finally saw the film. But yeah, I guess we'll go through this film.
Yeah.
It starts on July 3rd, 1984, 5 p.m. I have a t-shirt that says that. I bought this t-shirt like a year and a half ago for this review.
Nice.
They only had a 2XL.
It's taken.
And at the time, I thought I was going to gain more weight. But now I've lost weight. So now it looks really big on me. I'm only ever going to wear this one.
I was going to say, you're looking good.
Yeah,
I'm
you
not
hold
just
it out
kissing
like
your butt.
Jared.
Hold on.
Oh my goodness.
Very good.
One day, I'll be able to do that without, like, almost crying. Okay. We meet Bert Kluguliker. The late Clu Guliker. That's a hard name. That's a hard name to say when you're still congested.
Klubiger.
He's leaving the medical supply store in the control of Frank, played by James Karen. And he's showing it around to Freddie, played by Thom
Matthews.
Yes, which I'm so mad.
Matthews.
I got him to sign my Friday the 13th Part 6 DVD, and I'm like, wait, I forgot I was trying to get everyone to sign it on this by Return of the Living Dead. I'm like, why did I bring that? I'm an idiot.
I'll be around again.
Yeah, he's around a lot. He's a nice
sweetheart.
guy.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
yeah.
met him and,
He was
and
really nice
Signed
when I
my
met him.
Return of the Living Dead poster and
Yeah.
told me
Friends
some
with him
cool
on
stories.
Facebook.
He mentioned that when he found out he got the role, he got his nose pierced. Was his ears pierced?
It's his
Whatever.
ear. Yeah, it's his ear pierced.
And Dana Bannon was like, "What the hell? We just put put a fake one on you. He's like, I don't.
All the boys went too hard on the punk, and all the girls did not go hard enough.
Yeah, they really. Except for Linnea Quigley, the other two.
The other two. I mean, Linnea Quigley, even she was supposed to have actually she was supposed to have a lot of hair. But it was supposed to be shaved on half. Like if you look at the production art.
Okay.
And the character wasn't supposed to be Trash. Her name was supposed to be Legs, which makes sense. And that was also supposed to be the other.
But she's
girl,
also Trash.
The girl who plays Casey. Well, she is Trash. Yes. Anyway.
Yeah, so he's working there. It's his first day. He's being shown around. I do like there's a lot of shots that just don't cut for a long period of time. I was noticing that this morning. I'm like, oh yeah, there's a lot of where they just set the camera up. I'm like, here's the whole scene. We'll do cuts in the next scene. But
it makes it feel very real, real world, very fun.
He showed him different types of skeletons. And they all have perfect teeth.
Yes.
And we both listened to the commentary. And Dan O'Bannon had a lot of questions about skeletons coming from India.
How many people you know die with a beautiful, perfect set of choppers in their puss, huh?
When he was on the working on Alien, he was talking to H.R. Giger, who was like, I would like skulls for the xenomorph. And so he ordered skulls from India. Production ordered skulls from India, and they all had perfect teeth. And they were sitting there wondering, how do they all have perfect teeth? And he cut them apart, and he reused them for the xenomorph. But it was like, they all have perfect teeth. It's kind of creepy.
You tend to have perfect teeth when you're younger.
Yeah, you're young and healthy.
Not in a third world country.
Yeah, that was a little bizarre, that whole thing.
Real weird.
I like that he says they have skeleton farms over there.
Well, he said that they made the joke in the movie, and then that same year that the movie came out, India completely halted the skeleton farm export, basically, and was like,
they called us on it. Oh no!
I feel like this is like a Burke and Hare situation where they just going around killing people for cadavers.
That's definitely what it seems like, because they were the main source for colleges, universities, and film production around the world.
Yeah.
Imagine how many skeletons that is.
Well, the original Texas Chainsaw has a skeleton in it. The original Frankenstein has a skeleton.
Has a bunch of them.
Yeah. Feels a little disrespectful if you ask me, but whatever.
Even Indiana Jones has a bunch of them.
Yeah. And I like throughout this whole scene, they're like, you don't know right away, but it's showing you stuff that's going to come back. It's like, here are the split dogs.
Yeah,
and it's like, oh, no. And the butterflies. And you're like, watching it now.
I love the sound the butterflies make. The
when they come to life.
Yeah. Somehow they're fairies. I don't know.
And then we meet the punks, and they like to party. And they want to party. Casey in particular just really wants to party.
She's already partying. Isn't she already drinking at the beginning? I feel like she's got
drinking,
in her
listening to music, dancing, driving around.
What is their definition of partying? I feel like this is an Andrew WK thing where he's just kind of all over the place on what a party is.
Party all the time.
Some of this, and talking loud in a cemetery.
Yeah. I like... How are Freddie and Tina friends with this group? I
have a theory about this. Okay. So, when you're in high school, your friends aren't always necessarily exactly like you. So, the new wave kids, Casey and Chuck are the new wave kids.
Oh, okay.
Freddie and Tina... Well, Freddie's, post-punk.
Yeah, he's got the
Visage fucking...
Yeah, and he's got the fuck you jacket, which
Visage,
says...
I don't know if you've ever listened to Visage, but that's straight fucking, new wave, real girly stuff.
Yeah.
And he's got the fuck you jacket, which does not go with the t-shirt at all.
On, real quick, the television version, the jacket says television version.
I want to see the television version now.
I've never seen a still of that. Have you?
I haven't
either.
Yeah, did it happen?
Hold on. Wait, hold on. Let's see if it's on the Blu-ray.
I don't think it is.
I have the Blu-ray that has all the gajillion extras, and I've never...
It's not on here. I do have that friend of mine, that fan that sends me TV cuts and work prints.
Well, there is a fun one.
Tyler, if you're watching this, find me the television version of Return of the Living Dead.
Do it, please.
We'll watch it on the comically large television that we're not buying from Best Buy because we're not sponsored.
We're not corporate rats.
Okay, so you think they're just two different types? Okay.
They're just nerds. They're all nerds. That's the thing that they all have in common is that they're all kind of nerdy and probably outsiders. They all hang out with Suicide because he has a fucking car. They don't like
the
him.
worst car ever.
And you know what? Trash was probably a new wave girl a month ago, and then she got a crush on Suicide and changed her entire look. That's my theory.
She's a girlfriend chameleon.
Yeah. That's why she's like, I like it spooky. You know, she doesn't. That's not real. She doesn't even understand the words she's saying.
Yeah, so they decide they're gonna go hang out with Freddy, I guess. Then Frank tells Freddy about weird things he's seen. And then he decides this is a good story to just tell on the first day. He was just like, yeah, you know that movie Night of the Living Dead? That was a true story. Ryan, this movie actually opened up with a title card saying it was a true story. This is the second true story me and you reviewed. The first one being Bloodsport. I'm starting to think these true stories are not very true.
This one's more believable than Bloodsport for my
I guess
money.
so. Well, you know, they said they changed the names and stuff. So I guess
true.
Louisville, Kentucky didn't get nuked, but maybe some other city got nuked. I don't know.
Maybe it was Philadelphia. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. So he's like, hey, that was based off a true story. It was changed. They threatened the filmmaker instead of just killing him. They threatened George Romero.
They threatened to sue him, is what they said. Like, sue the government's going to sue you.
Yeah.
You're going to end up in like it's Volkswagen Beetle just flew off a cliff.
You better not tell people this story. You better change the details around a little bit. Okay, Uncle Sam, I will.
Yeah.
But the real story is a chemical that they were using for marijuana to spray on marijuana. I don't know to what end. Leaked into a VA hospital or something like that, and the corpses came to life in the morgue. And they shipped them off, but it got mixed up, and they got shipped to their Unita supply store.
Inexplicably.
Yeah.
A shady municipal supply store. I used to be a truck driver briefly for a shady municipal supply company. That truck was not fit to be on the road. That was a whole thing. I was desperate for money.
So this all checks out.
This all checks out to me.
This could be a
Like
true
I said,
story.
more true than Bloodsport.
So he says, like, yeah, we have the corpses here. And he's like, do you want to see them? So yeah, he shows them the bodies downstairs. And we should note, he also showed him upstairs the cadaver that's in the freezer.
Oh, yeah.
That was another good setup.
Popsicle.
Yeah. So he shows them the cadaver in the tank, which I guess is Tarban.
Yeah.
We're led to believe that is Tarban. And I love the whole, like, be careful, it might leak. He's like, no, this is made by the Army Corps of Engineers. Boom. Smoke comes out.
Yes.
The really fun disco-y theme song pops in.
This movie does have amazing music.
This and Friday,
good
I don't know what it
And
is
the
between
social commentary.
Yeah. Between this and Friday the 13th Part 3, I don't know why there was that weird moment in horror movies where we're like, yes, dance music. That will set the tone of our spooky movie. And
It's
like,
ruined me as a human because that's all I'm about is dance music and horror movies.
it's weird when you marathon the first like 4 Friday the 13th. It's like and then 3 and then back to what was that weird
We're
period?
We're sorry.
That was like the height of cocaine use.
Yeah, exactly.
The music's awesome. It's going throughout the whole supply, and I like that it ends on the cadaver just like trying to wake up.
I love Dan O'Bannon talking about the hook in the commentary because it's like I don't know what a meat hook looks like in a facility like that, but that looks right. It looks horrible. Like okay, we've decided. Perfect.
And then we see a miserable colonel coming home. His wife made him lamb chop, but he already had lamb chop.
I had a lamb
For
chop
lunch.
for lunch.
Oh.
Okay. Who likes lamb chop? But I guess that's part of the joke is he's such an uptight a-hole. He likes lamb chop that much.
I'd like to see the real people who lived in that house.
Oh, yeah.
That house is incredible.
Because he's what? He's like in San Francisco, I think. They say toward the end.
so.
Florida or something,
But
wasn't
in
it?
the commentary, Dan O'Bannon said that house was exactly how they showed up, and that's what it looked like.
Oh, nice.
It's
They didn't have to do
gaudy
anything.
nonsense.
Did it have the
They
secret?
had the computer.
only thing
computer
they added
that-
was
okay.
The secret computer was added.
Oh,
but
okay.
Everything besides
there.
that.
They had a different
already
secret
there.
computer, but it just
Yeah.
didn't
They
look
They had
right.
to
replaced
change the
it.
details.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they were like,
And
they
it didn't talk to the government, so that was the problem.
the government came in and said, you have to change that computer or we'll put you in jail. So yeah, he's getting an update on where these tanks are. Still nothing, and his wife is sad because I guess that's all he's thinking about all the time.
So. Maybe
She's
we'll
like,
never
when will you find
them.
them. He's like, I don't know. Maybe we never will.
That's so depressing. If they focused on them more, it would have been a sadder movie.
Yeah, it really would have. Because I guess he's basically like they have to be able to reach me 24/7. I mean, today that wouldn't mean anything to us.
I know, yeah.
Because it's like, I'm being reached 24/7 all the time.
Please stop reaching me.
So the punks make it to the supply store, but Freddy's not out yet. So they're like, let's hang out in the cemetery.
I love it. Like, I'm not waiting around or whatever for 2 hours.
Yeah.
Like, 2 hours. He gets off at what the fuck?
Yeah, apparently at 10 or whatever.
Right, yeah.
I do like
for training
They're
at
like-
a warehouse.
training.
But I like that they're like, yeah, let's drive around. It's like, I ain't got no gas. It's like, well, how do you expect to get out of there?
Yeah, you live there now.
Yeah.
Stupid punk.
So yeah, they're gonna go in the cemetery. What's the worst that could happen? Zombies?
You mean that cemetery? Oh, let's do that.
Frank and Freddy wake up sick. They're like, what the hell was that? And then you hear the poor dog.
Oh yeah.
You hear the poor dog barking, and then they start freaking out. James Cameron's like screaming.
It's
And, oh no! Oh god! It's the funniest scream.
He's the best at being upset at things.
The acting is so fun.
Yeah.
A lot of it is like really good, and then like them screaming the whole time. Like, this is fucking hilarious. It's outrageous.
What do they do? They pick up like crutches and they hit the dog.
Yeah,
and it
they
makes,
smack
it
it.
makes a squeaky toy sound. Like,
It starts crying. Oh my god. Yeah.
I love this movie so much.
everything is alive. Like you
Wagging
said.
its tail too.
Yeah, even the
It's
butterflies.
happy.
Why was that the only split dog that came to life? That's my question. The other ones didn't.
They were expensive.
Yeah.
It was too expensive.
We only have one puppet rig. Yeah.
So yeah, the butterflies are flapping around. Okay, so they're like, what are we gonna do? They're gonna call the boss. And I like that Frank does his hair.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just to make a phone call.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just like, hi.
To be
Bert."
fair, that's what Mr. Lobo does every time he picks up the phone. I'm not even kidding. So
Same.
Yeah.
I look
When
in the mirror and
I'm-
I'm like,
yes, I am good enough. To
When I make a
this
phone call, I get completely naked.
That's fair.
That's what I do. So if you're talking
Like a
to me on
little
the
kid
phone,
taking a
Tony,
poop.
just so you know.
Disgusting.
Ryan, I'm in the hospital. I was lit on fire. Like, oh, hold on, I'll put my clothes on right away.
Give me 1 second. I
He's
gotta get
taking them
dressed,
off
buddy.
immediately.
So yeah, I like Linnea Quigley and Miguel Nunez Jr., which is Trash and Spider. She's talking about death, and he's like, I don't really like thinking about death, lady. And she's just like, she predicts how she's gonna die. She's like, the worst way would be old men ripping at my body. And then because Linnea Quigley's in the movie, tits come out.
Yeah. My
Really,
favorite
she's
part
secretly
of,
into it. That's
probably.
that's what she wants.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, let's get some light over here. Trash is taking off her clothes again.
Oh, I love earlier that they're going into the cemetery and they're like grabbing flares, and I forget which character's like, "What's the flares for? Why are you bringing flares?" And he doesn't answer them. They just walk in holding flares.
They
and
know it's gonna happen.
They know
what's
she's
going
gonna
on.
dance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, she gets up there, dance, strips down, and I believe, if I remember the commentary, she's got like a Barbie thing over
Oh
her
yeah,
crotch.
she had
Yeah.
a rubber merkin.
Yes.
And they actually filmed that twice. They filmed it once without the rubber merkin, and
Yeah.
it was really tasteful.
Yeah.
And then the studio said, "Whoa, her real vagina's in there. You can't do that." And they went, "Okay, we'll put a rubber vagina on her." And then they were like, "Well, now we can show it." So that's why they did the lights.
It's so crazy.
They
That's
added
so
light.
crazy.
It
Yeah.
was tasteful and dark and shadowy. I would love to see the original cut of that.
Yeah.
It'd be
That'd be
interesting.
cool
Yeah.
to see. That'd be cool to see. Yeah, so she's dancing. I think she's lip syncing to the song. This seems like an awkward party. I don't
Yeah.
know.
I
No,
don't remember seeing her face.
that's
I don't
fair.
know why.
I don't know. But if we were all hanging out, like, if I just got up and started dancing naked right now, I don't think you guys would be like, yeah.
I would immediately light some flares, start dancing
I
around.
would like.
the
Tony's at it again. Grab the flares.
unfortunately the ceiling's not high enough
Yeah,
here.
Yeah.
that's fair.
The old
could
place I might have been able to.
Yeah.
Snake across the top.
I could crawl
Do the
up
worm.
and do
yeah,
like a
naked
do the
worm.
worm. Oh no,
do a
that's
worm
the
on the
worst.
So yeah, Bert shows up and he's like, "What the fuck did you do? Why would you ever go near that thing?" So yeah, they're gonna plan to destroy the evidence. And
Good
like,
plan.
first we got to kill that cadaver who suddenly woke up and he's very angry. And I love that Kluger is like, okay. You're going to stand by the door and you're going to hit it with the
You're
pickaxe.
gonna brain it with the pickaxe.
He's like strategically planning it.
To keep himself
Just
out
hide.
of danger.
And then it totally backfires because as soon as the cadaver comes out, it makes a beeline for
Yeah.
Kluger. He's like, oh no!
He was the most important part of the plan. He just didn't know it.
Yeah.
But they managed to put the spike through his head and start cutting his head off. And the first time I saw that, I was like, ah!
That was like
It's
some
impressive.
good special
Yeah.
effects. That is so cool.
However, the headless cadaver, not the best.
It is mighty silly.
Some of
Silly
like,
rubber.
the
you know.
close-ups are fine. I just don't know why his arms are permanently like this.
Okay, to be fair, when it's on VHS, it looks fine. But like on DVD and any other
Everything
medium,
looks good on VHS.
That's fair.
So that's fine. But yeah, you're right. On HD DVD. I had a bunch of them.
Yeah.
But on Blu-ray, you can see the wide shots where they have the thing. Like
yeah.
he looks like he has a giraffe neck. It
Yeah,
looks so
it's
like,
very
They were
silly.
smart to like have it behind shelves far away,
Yeah.
but you
Yeah.
can see it now. But no, that close up, I don't know why his arms are just stuck in this
Didn't
like
that
push up
get that guy
position.
fired?
I think
That-
so. Yeah.
I think that got the designer who was working on that.
the original special effects.
Oh
artist
wait,
got
I remember that
fired.
story now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they replaced him and was like in a hurry. Like, we
Ah.
need a bunch
Yeah.
of stuff, and you need to be quick about it.
Yeah.
We'll use part of the shitty thing and then
Yeah.
we'll cut it with this much better thing.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny. So yeah, they chop him up, I guess. They cut his head off. I do like that the hacksaw doesn't have a blade on it. The
Yeah.
one angle, which is smart.
Yeah.
Unless you're an asshole, listen to the commentary track. You want to know that.
Yeah. But it looks great, all cut together and everything.
But I like that they're like, wait, destroying the brain is what kills them. He's like, yeah, but the movie lied.
Yeah.
And they're like, shit, we don't know what kills them. So he comes up with a plan. He's like, my friend Ernie has a crematorium at the morgue over there.
Bert's
Bert
friend,
and Ernie.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I just thought about
What?
Oh.
There you go. Waka waka.
just realized they're Bert and Ernie.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Ernie's also a Nazi.
What?
Ernie's a Nazi.
What?
That's canon.
Oh yeah.
What's his last name though? He's
he
named
says it,
after.
but it's a
named
German
after
name.
In this
German
movie?
Is he
war
the-
criminal? Yeah, in the movie, and he says a line in German. He says it's raining cats
when
and dogs.
they show up, he's listening to a German march.
There's like
Okay.
a picture of
Nazi-
there's
Nazi
Nazi
march.
shit behind him.
So they were
on the wall.
so they were subtle with this.
Oh yeah.
Not
Unlike
that subtle.
well, unlike Dead Alive, where the guy at the morgue literally
Oh, yeah, he's
was himself
literally
a Nazi.
A Nazi, yeah,
who was
no, he
literally
has-
still
yeah.
wearing his
Yeah, exactly.
uniform, and then it gets ripped.
A lot more subtle than that. That's
Yeah.
fair.
I think it's a clever reference to Night of the Living Dead.
Yeah.
Because when they show up to the farmhouse, on the mantle above the fireplace is Mein Kampf.
Oh,
And I think it's a reference to that. They show up to the situation and it gets much
Oh.
worse.
in my version, I added 5 more copies of Mein Kampf. I was like, that's what it was missing.
Why is it Mein Kampf and
Why
never
does he own
our
5
Kampf?
copies of Mein Kampf? Questions. You're on a list.
But there's like a lot of stuff. He has a German handgun. He speaks German.
Yeah.
He has a German last name.
I never
think
pieced that together.
It is
it's,
the name of a war criminal. I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure.
I forget if it was the guy who
Ernest blah blah blah.
Well,
he might have been the guy who was in charge of like promotional nonsense, like films and all this
Oh yeah, propaganda.
propaganda
Yeah.
for the Nazi Party.
he worked with good old
and there's
Lenny. Did he
also-
work with Lenny? Lenny Riefenstahl?
What's Hitler's girlfriend's name?
Ava.
Ava
Ava
Braun.
Braun.
There's
Yeah,
a
there's
picture
a
of her on
picture.
the wall.
I
There's
did
also a picture of Criswell though, which I guess because
weird,
he's an
yeah.
albino.
maybe.
Dana
I guess
Benyon also said
We've
there's
gone on way too long.
was this in
about
the
Nazis.
commentary
I'm
track?
sorry.
I should have listened to the
There- a
commentary.
little- they
it's
mentioned it a little bit.
Not
Okay.
too much though. This is just me watching the movie thousands and thousands of times.
Yeah.
Okay. I
I've
really
seen
want a
interviews about
crossover
it.
between the Nazi more guy in Dead Alive and this Nazi.
That's
Yeah.
it's a trope now. There's probably a third movie. It's like eating a sandwich over a corpse. We have to find another movie with a Nazi.
Oh, I have it in there. The cliche of eating the sandwich around the corpse. That is like the biggest morgue
best.
cliche
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're planning to go over there. We have the song, we got a party, it's party
I
time.
love that song. So much.
So they come up with a story about rabbit weasels. And he's like, hey, look, we have some rabbit.
It's rabbit weasels.
We have these rabbit weasels that we want to burn alive.
And somehow the Nazi has so much compassion
I know.
that he's like, you can't burn them. You can't burn them alive.
At least let me take him outside and I'll kill him first.
Was he like pro-Nazi, or was he like, well, I kind of have to. It's kind of my job. Like, remember, we all saw, well, I don't know if we all saw Valkyrie, but there were Nazis trying to kill Hitler. There were the ones that are like, I'm all about this. And the other ones that are like, well, I got to go along with that. I don't know what to do. But yeah, he's just like, hey, I'll just go out and I'll just shoot them one by one. I'm like, that won't draw any attention.
No.
And then they finally are like, okay, yeah, our story doesn't really add up. Let's just tell them the truth. And they pull out the hand. And he's like, oh my God.
The second worst part you could have pulled out of the bag, other than the face.
Any other part.
Like, foot.
Yeah.
Couldn't have grabbed anybody.
The heart. I don't know anything. So like that, it grabs his leg and freaks him out.
Yeah.
And then he's trying to think of what to do. And I like that it ripped his leg,
pants,
his pant leg, and then he spends like a minute just cutting the
The
other part off.
Movie stops for that. It's like a David Lynch thing almost at that point.
And he's just like, all right, I'll do it, but you're gonna owe me one. So Freddie's girlfriend, Tina, she's just like, I gotta go see if Freddie's getting out. I'm gonna go head to the place by myself, because that's the thing you do when you're a lady in a movie. Just go to a place by yourself. They burn the evidence and they live happily ever after. Actually, they should have checked the forecast, I guess, because rain apparently shows up and the smoke mixes with the rain. And I guess the rain brings the chemicals into the ground at the cemetery.
It's science.
Science.
I could be wrong. I think I think it's supposed to. The chemical in the air actually causes the rain.
Yeah,
Causes
that
some
was
kind of
my
acid
idea
rain.
of that too.
Oh, okay.
But I don't.
Yeah.
I could
No,
just be
I
making
agree.
stuff up.
I think 'cause they kind of show it go up and then form a cloud and then.
Oh, I
come
thought
back
that was
down.
just a big
I
coincidence.
do love the such an awesome shot of it going like up the vent pipe.
Yeah.
and, like,
Yeah.
boop, boop, boop.
The
All the way up.
trioxin's a
So
character in the
badass.
movie at that point.
Yeah.
I like that it like drips on the one guy's shoes. And I'm like, is that enough to get you infected? I guess.
What did it do to weed? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, what were they trying to do to the weed? I don't understand.
I would love to know what the effect they were hoping for.
Right.
But yeah, the punks are trying to get out of the rain because they're being burned. They get into like Suicide's car and it's like a piece of shit. Frank, so they think they're out in the clear, but then they realize Frank and Freddy are turning into zombies. They're like, we're really sick. We breathed a lot of that stuff. And it's like, oh shit. Ernie calls the paramedics, and then the zombies start crawling out of their graves. I love that shot of the zombie crawl. It's like this X-ray shot of like underground. Doesn't really make sense. It's cool though. It looks cool. Then Tina meets the tar man. Brains. These are talking zombies.
They are great, fast talking zombies.
Fast-ish.
Fast-ish.
They're not quite.
I mean, okay, well, when trash gets surrounded, they're straight running.
Yeah, okay.
Tarman's not fast, but he's barely holding
Yeah,
together.
Tarman is my favorite. I love just the...
Oh, yeah. Amazing.
Because I guess his like bones are like jelly by now.
The sinew holding it together.
But this is like the origin of the brains thing, right? I don't think any other zombie movies did that
this is
before
definitely
that.
the origin. And like it has some of the coolest like Tarman is one of the best zombies of all time.
My
of
only
all
issue
film
is
history.
like they're not really good at eating brains because all the zombies have their heads attached.
Yeah.
So
I mean, they're eating brains outside. They're eating the brains of the...
I guess so.
They're not eating each other's brains.
Oh yeah, they were already dead.
Yeah.
Well, no, but like trash doesn't get her brains eaten. That's what I'm saying.
No, that's fair.
Yeah.
She just
They
turns
just
into
bite
Ronald
her
McDonald.
a little bit, and then I guess they forget.
Yeah.
I guess they bit her too fast, and she's zombified.
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah.
And they're like, oh, no, we're not.
But she could have also been infected from the rain.
True. So yeah, he's smart. Also, he knows to hook up like a winch to the door and starts cranking it.
He's got memories.
Yeah, he's just like, but I love that they all come in and like Suicide just gets his brains eaten, like
That's
just
rough.
bites the
That-
top of his head and like rips his skull
sad.
off.
That shot is so gross.
Yeah,
It freaks
it's
me
just
It's an
out.
apple.
more
Yeah.
brains. Rest in peace, Suicide. I was trying to guess how that character would die, and I thought the name would have advertised it enough, but no, it was not suicide.
You'd never guess.
It was assisted suicide. There was a deleted scene.
Changed his name.
There's a deleted scene right before suicide lead to his friends, and it just went like, "I don't want to live anymore." So the paramedics are like checking on Frank and Freddie, and they're just like, "Well, you're kind of dead. I guess you're technically dead."
They're like,
"What do you mean? I don't have a heartbeat." Well, I'm like, "Well, obviously they're alive. They're walking and talking, but something's fucked here." So that's fun. That's a fun revelation they have. It's like, what's going on over here? And then a skeleton puppet comes out.
Yeah.
Even with the string pulling its jaw down. Apparently this corpse, I guess he had glass eyes and they left it in the, usually they close the eyes of cadavers, but I guess whoever buried this guy, like, let's leave his glass eyes in.
But he also can blink, right? Doesn't he blink?
Oh yeah, that doesn't make sense.
So there's that as well. Maybe they're just, that's the only part that didn't
You know what's funny?
break down.
You know what's funny? I guess it's the second worst, but they covered up the first worst effect as we covered. That's probably the worst effect in the movie. And I love at the end, they're like,
in the jaw.
I love at the end, they're like, we got to end on that shot
Yeah.
again. Like, what
Back
the
for seconds. It's like the lady Ghostbusters all over again. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to bring that.
We love the lady. No, I'm kidding. We have a review of it. That was the all-female review.
Yeah.
And they loved it.
I wasn't part of
you
it.
sexist pigs.
No, the women on this show did not like the lady.
I
not a
watched
huge
it,
fan. I'm
and
not a
it
big
was
fan.
they were so angry. I was like, I thought I was unhappy with this film. They were aggressively angry.
The first 5 minutes of that movie is amazing, but we're not doing a podcast about that.
No, we already have it, and I have a commentary.
I wasn't in it, Tony. You didn't ask me.
I'm sorry.
When they come out with a sequel, he'll let you know.
That's fair.
Oh, yeah.
God, when that happens.
Yeah.
I'll wait. I'm going to hold my breath.
Never mind. So yeah, the zombies attack the punks. Trash gets ripped apart, kind of. And the punks let Ernie know about the zombies because they finally get let into the crematorium.
Yeah.
And then our poor paramedics, they get eaten.
Yeah.
Those
Just
poor
a shame.
guys. I like when they go out to check. Ernie goes out to check, and there's just a tiny zombie. Was he like a little person or an amputee?
I
think he was an amputee. Yeah.
Dan O'Bannon said he was incredibly enthusiastic. He was super happy
he's
to be
giving
there.
it his all. That was,
yeah.
when I was like a teenager, that's the one that scared me the most.
It's terrifying.
Because I'm like, oh God, what's going on there?
Like, holy shit.
That was the role.
Isn't he one of the ones that actually ate brains too?
He is, yeah.
Yeah. They had lamb's brains that they were like making people.
Was he like an accident amputee, or was he like a born like that amputee?
I'm not sure. I don't know.
That is a good
I
question.
forget I was watching where like someone was missing an arm or something, and they like want to know the story, and they're like, I was born that way, and they're all let down. They're like,
Bummer. Aw, too bad it wasn't traumatic for you.
like,
Well, it's like there's the guy in The Thing where he sticks his arms in the stomach and he gets bit off. That guy was an amputee.
Oh wow.
Too. Like one
crazy,
shot.
yeah.
So badass. Amputees are the best.
shout out to all our
Who's that for?
shout out to our amputees.
It's for my fellow
Yeah,
amputees.
there you go.
I don't think you've ever shown it. Do you want to show
Yeah,
it?
go ahead. Get
Pew, 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 pew.
The first episode we did with Ryan, I noticed it. I'm like, I can't bring it up. I have to wait for him to bring it up. And then finally you did. I'm like, yes, I can ask the story.
Now I can talk about your
can ask the
finger.
story.
I brought it up and then he just started screaming and screaming.
I was like,
and
I was being really respectful, but I really want to know how it happened.
About your trauma.
I crushed my hand in some faulty machinery and had to get my finger cut off. And it was the best. I suggest everyone do it.
I'd do it.
Because I'm left-handed and I didn't like drawing with my left hand as much as I love struggling with my right hand.
That could be a problem. I understand. But hey. If they make Return of the Living Dead 5, you're a
You're
shoo-in.
going to see me in the mud.
Yeah, was it one finger?
Wait, I think there is a 5. 6. You're a
God.
shoo-in for 6.
There's so many and they're awful.
Past
Pause.
3 is just...
And C3 is just
Yeah.
borderline for me.
Oh,
Yeah.
we'll come back one day for what is the worst Return of the
All
Living
right,
Dead.
that's fair.
So they start barricading the door. while a fun song plays, and then we get the "Send more paramedics."
That is the best. I love that.
It's pretty
It's
good.
the Cramps, right? That scene, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
I think so.
There's also like a big eye in the background of that, and I collect big eyes, so I notice things like that. But in the chapel, for some reason, there's like an old
That
60s
was
big eye.
Dana Bannon. He said he specifically requested it, and I think it was the production designer's mom. It was her copy. He took it from his mom, and she still has it to this day. He said it in the
That's
commentary. I was
hilarious.
like, okay, interesting stuff. Because I noticed that. I'm like,
She needs
why?
to put that up for
Why is it
auction
in
somewhere. Seriously.
So yeah, Freddie and Frank, their rigor mortis is setting in. They're not too thrilled about it. More paramedics show up and then die right away.
Immediately.
Unceremoniously.
I like that. Again, it's another one of those shots that lingers for
Uh-huh.
a bit, and then they all just come swarming. That's the scariest when they like swarm
Leaping out of the woods and stuff. Oh man, freaky nonsense.
And then a lady zombie kills one of the punks. I forget which one.
That would be Scuzz.
Scuzz,
Yeah.
yes. Rips his head off basically, and I like to yank her out, and she's just a muppet.
Yeah, she's wonderful.
Yeah,
Like
she's
half
pretty
corpse.
great. She's
Yeah.
pretty great. They like stick her on a broom pole, and they're like
Yeah.
picking her up, and they
I
don't.
like that her voice is all like.
Yeah, this was another one when I was a kid. Like this part really creeped me out because they're basically interviewing the zombie.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
like,
she's
that's
terrifying.
Terrifying. Yeah, there was
'Cause it
someone at a
hurts- it
convention
hurts
years
to be
ago that
dead.
like they made like a table with that. And they had the
That's
little
awesome.
spinal
The whipping
thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the
yeah,
wiggly
that
spine.
is the
Was it
coolest thing.
oozing? Because the ooze is the worst part in the
Yeah,
movie.
the spinal fluid, which
Yeah.
I guess you would still have
Just
when you're dead.
somehow, yeah, wouldn't
Yeah.
have just coagulated like
Yeah.
everything else.
Or just
Yeah.
been. I think when they embalm you, all that stuff gets out. I don't know.
I don't know. Who knows?
So yeah, they start asking her questions. They're like, "Hey, what do you want?" And she's like, "Brains." And we find out that they are constantly in pain, probably because they're dead. And the only thing that eases the pain is brains, and they have to always be eating brains.
She said
How
she
did they
could feel
know?
herself rotting.
Yeah, that's pretty gross.
Like, that's
Yeah,
disgusting.
it's pretty terrifying.
Yeah.
My one friend brought up a theory when I was talking. I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna go review this movie," and he's like, "You know what? I always wondered if she says like I can feel myself rotting. How messed up would it be if you die and you could feel yourself rotting the whole time, like they're conscious,
Yeah.
and it's only now that they have the ability to move that they're like, that's why they're all so angry and so hungry." And I was like, that's terrifying.
Yeah.
Just a bunch of people laying there like, I can't move, but this is terrible.
You have a lot of time to think about what might satiate that feeling.
Oh,
yeah.
Because I'm like, how do you come up with brains? But if
pop
you've
up
been there
like,
for a long
brains?
time, you're like, I need brains.
Yeah, she acts like she's been doing this for a while. I'm like, you've been a zombie for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
You were literally dead right before. I guess they
She's
just
got
know.
a lot
I
of
guess
insight.
I guess that weed chemical got in their head.
I wonder if
Thanks,
it also
government.
gives them a better sense of smell. Like, I smell human.
Oh yeah, because they're like, we smell your brain.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, Trash comes back as a zombie. For some reason, she has a giant violator from Spawn Jaw. I don't know why she got that special
Again,
power.
very Ronald McDonald-esque in the face.
Yeah, and
Clown
she's got like a weird
it's
like
horrible.
eyebrow.
Yeah,
like,
she's
rage.
got the like Lost Boys eyebrow.
Okay,
for
was
some
this
reason.
was this the guy who got fired? Was he like, I was working on Star Trek last week. I got some Klingon eyebrows we could put on her and a big jaw.
No, I think it was actually the production designer because he mentioned it in the commentary. I think he made one of the faces. They were talking about how they kept having to tell Linnea Quigley like, no, don't go to bite him.
Yeah.
Chin him because her chin was like right behind
Yeah.
the tongue, so she kept missing.
Oh.
No, just hit him. Just chin him. Just chin him.
But yeah, like
It doesn't look great though. Like
No.
it looks
it-
interesting.
that's
but
why they
not-
never
goofy.
again, they never linger on it.
Yeah.
They know exactly the amount of frames to show.
I do love that shot of her like coming out of the mist. Or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, it's a
Like,
great
oh,
scene.
it's so cool.
Yeah, poor old guy just gets eaten. And then I forgot Casey and Chuck went into a different area. They went to
I
the
think
store,
They went to Unido,
the warehouse.
Right? Yeah.
And she lets him know that she doesn't like him.
Yeah. But she'd have sex with him.
She just said, "Just hug me." Like they didn't have sex.
They would have.
I don't know. If you got covered in like acid rain and zombies are outside,
That's fair.
I think I'd have a hard time getting in the mood. I'd be like, sorry, my skin's burning.
Yeah.
My friend's
I'm
over there with
probably
his
dying.
head exploded.
that's
There's
fair.
a tar man
That would
downstairs.
be the worst version of this scene. Would be like, I'm trying to get it up, but I just spit on it. I don't know.
Oh, God.
Dance or something. They're like just sitting there arguing until you get
Oh,
you get
Lord.
ripped apart by zombies, and the last thing you did was just sit here and argue with somebody you don't even like.
So Tina, they're like, we have to isolate Freddie and Frank. And Tina's like, I'm staying with my man. So they isolate them in the
Yeah.
chapel. They're okay, lady, have fun.
Good luck dying.
Yeah. I love the zombies eat the cops and right away, send more cops. They have it all planned out.
They're too smart.
It's weird they don't fight each other over the brains.
Yeah.
So Freddy finally goes full on zombie. And I like you see the moment where he suddenly switches to zombie.
That was a cool moment. It was
Yeah.
a nice
He's
acting
like-
moment. That was pretty neat.
He like his eyes wake up and he's like giving like a little bit of a smile. He's
Yeah.
like, I need your brains. And I like right before that, Ernie's like, we have acid. They're like, we don't have enough for them. And you tell he just really wants to use it.
Yeah.
So sure enough, he uses it in this scene. He
Yeah.
burns freaking Freddy's eyes, which I'm not a fan of. But I like for the rest of the movie, he's like,
Yeah.
"Ah!"
It's great.
Yeah.
Just walking around, knocking into shit.
I love later when he's walking in that hall, he's like destroying stuff, smashing into walls. It's
Yeah.
so outrageous.
And then at some point when they were barricading the door, Ernie breaks his foot. He's just kind of like, ow. Oh. Not even like a zombie grabbed it.
Yeah.
No.
Something. He just kind of
Broke.
goes, ow. My foot's broken.
Broken.
Okay. So
My
he can't.
Nazi bones.
So he can't make a run for the cop car. It's
Yeah.
just Tina staying with them. It's going to be Spider and Bert. They're going to make a run for the cop car. So they leave him behind because they came to pick him up and they got surrounded, so they had to bail. And it's like, she's like, they left us. And Ernie's like, they kind of had to.
Yeah. They'll be
'Cause
back
Ernie's like, I had to leave a
maybe.
lot of friends in Germany, so
Yeah.
I understand. I've been there
I know
before.
what it's like.
They end up back at the warehouse because, again, the zombies now have taken over the city. They're like all over the city now. They end up in the warehouse with Chuck and Casey. And Ernie and Tina barricade themselves in the attic. And I like this scene. Frank just chooses to burn himself alive before he changes. And he takes the wedding ring off. I'm like,
Yeah.
that's really depressing.
It's
Do you
cute.
know why?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
You can tell
No,
it.
you go ahead.
It's
You go
fine.
ahead.
It's fine.
No, I've done
We
enough
all watched
talking
the
for
same.
now.
We've all watched the same commentary.
Yeah.
I don't remember. Can one of you pick and tell me?
Well, like you, he was just getting over a cold, and James Karen did not want to go running around in rain.
Gotcha.
And he's like, "What if Frank just dies?" And Dan O'Bannon's like, "Oh, all right." Like, I don't want to be sick. Let's change the whole script.
Yeah.
And it's like one of the most powerful scenes in the movie.
It really
is.
It's
It
supposed
really
to be
is.
in there. Yeah.
It's depressing. It reminds me of I don't think you ever see him kill himself, but in Night of the Creeps, where the one character kills himself before the slugs take
yeah.
over and he finds out afterwards.
yeah,
Like, that's
it
actually
hears
really
the
depressing.
recording.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's really sad.
Yeah.
Well, it's like his scream in there is like the scene. Like, it's so good.
More cops get eaten. I like how the helicopter's there and they're like, they're eating all of us. There's like a whole barricade and it just doesn't, they all just get swarmed.
I would have loved to see. I know it's like very contained movie, which is why it's so good. But it would have been fun to see them starting to branch out into other stuff, like a bodega or whatever, local like other nonsense. Just
It is a little bit claustrophobic in that way, but I mean, it kind of works for that movie because it's you get a sense that they're not safe back there.
Yeah. I like how they're just stuck in that one location.
Yeah.
It's kind of fun. So Ernie's getting ready to like mercy kill Tina so she doesn't have to get eaten alive by her dead boyfriend.
Merciful fellow.
Very
That
merciful.
guy with his like Luger or whatever fucking
merciful
gun he
Nazis.
has. Yeah.
And then the rest are like, there's a phone downstairs, but the tar man's downstairs. And now this time Bert's like, okay, I'm going to have the app at this time. I'm going to make sure I get it right. Sure enough, he just knocks tar
He
man's
knocks
head
his
off.
block off.
They try to call them. They're all dead.
Yeah.
So there's only one number left to call. And that's the Colonel's number on the side of the tank. And the Colonel's
grumpy
like,
bastards finally getting the call he's been waiting for over 30
and I love
years,
that you can
20
tell
years.
he's getting the plot of the movie. He's like, okay, yeah, I understand. What'd you do after that? What effect did that have? I love what effect did that have? Yeah. He's just penciling it the whole time.
Zombies.
But everything's great now. Kluger, he's just like, they have a plan for this. The plan is to nuke. I guess it's a small nuke. It does 20 city blocks.
Yeah.
The plan is to nuke everyone. And this idea was stolen for the Resident Evil games, the Resident Evil Apocalypse movie, which we have a review of. The newest Resident Evil movie, but Alien vs. Predator Requiem stole this ending.
Wow.
Where they're like, yeah, we'll figure it out right now. It's like, just nuke them. We have to be safe. Just nuke them. Now the nuke effect is pretty cool.
It is pretty badass.
Yes.
When the shingles come flying
Yeah.
off.
My problem with that though is, why didn't the buildings that were closer to the blast have any debris falling off of them, but just the shingles on the house? Like the windows don't get blown up on the buildings next to the blast. It's a cool miniature though. And then there's that one stop motion that sticks out because none of the movie has stop motion other than that. But I love the guy who's real excited. He's like, yes, sir. Okay, coordinates. Boom. Got it. So yeah, they just nuke the entire city. Everyone's dead. I love Bert going like, you hear that? What is that? And I love the freeze frame of like him going like Tina, and then you can even Trash and the other zombies are looking up at it. Yeah, but they're all dead, and the Colonel's letting the president know. He's like, it's okay. Don't worry about the fires. Rain has shown up, and it's going to put out the fires. Some people are saying the rain's burning them, and then it shows basically the same cemetery footage.
Yeah.
And then the movie ends with a highlight reel of what you just watched.
Yes.
It's lots of fun.
That's a great fucking movie.
It is
great.
so good.
That's a great movie. Totally nailed it.
Yeah. And I love that the town gets blown up on 4th of July because it's the next day.
God bless America.
And somehow you don't feel sad at the end of that movie. Like, everyone dies. That's one of the only movies where literally everyone dies, and you're like, yes! That was so much fun.
How do you cover up that story?
Yeah.
Who knows?
It was true.
Yeah, it's a true story. Yeah, it's still a fun movie. It's one of those movies I want to watch till the day I die.
Yeah.
It'll always put a smile on my face.
I've
It's
watched
very
it
entertaining.
in Spanish.
Huh?
I've watched it so many times. I've watched it in Spanish because I wanted a new experience, and it's very entertaining.
However, it has been a long time. I have the second one on tape. It's been a long time since I watched the sequels.
Yeah.
I remember enjoying 2, but it felt like more of the same.
2's like, it kind of feels like a kid's movie.
Yeah, I do like that James Cameron and Thom Matthews come back as different characters.
That's wonderful.
3, I'd have to rewatch it, but I thought that one was a little too serious.
It's grunge. They went less punk, more grunge.
Yeah.
But there's no punk in the
90s
second
nonsense.
Yeah, and then if I saw 4 and 5, I couldn't tell you a goddamn thing about
they're
them.
really horrible. I taped them off of the Sci-Fi
Channel.
Oh,
and I like stayed up late and like
Burn
I
those
was
tapes.
depressed. Like after I sat there and watched both of them back to back, I was like, "This
Mercy,
is."
kill yourself.
That's how I felt. I was about to throw myself in the incinerator.
We should come back at some point and do What is the
That
Worst
would-
Return
Yeah.
of the Living Dead.
I love
That's
being
gonna be hard.
tortured.
Yeah,
It'll be a lot of fun.
All I know is there's a Michael Jackson zombie in 2. That's
Yeah.
the one thing I know, and I'm like,
Is Forey in 2? I feel like Forrest Ackerman might be in 2 also for a second.
I don't know.
Maybe,
It's
I
like I
can't
said, it's been
It
a
might be for me.
very
It might
long
not be.
time.
Don't listen to me.
Do I have it behind you? Yeah, Return of the Living Dead Part 2.
Yeah, I have it on Blu-ray. I love the Michael Jackson zombie like walks into frame.
But they're
and
being
then gets
electrocuted, and it looks like he's dancing. But yeah, we'll talk about that another time.
Yeah.
Ryan, where can we find you?
You can find me at Monster FX on Instagram and all the other social media things.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I make lovely, wonderful, weird stuff.
I thought you were going to say you make love, and I'm like, that's a weird brag.
I've
I'm
had
like-
sex with a woman.
I'm like,
tell ya.
okay, Ryan.
Weird flex.
Let's be a little.
But I make monster toys and all this other fun, crazy stuff.
We have the
And,
Evil Dead book right
yeah.
here, and the stuff, and the
stuff,
blob is
which,
over there.
Every time I'm on here, I get messages about the stuff. The stuff is finally back in stock.
Yes.
Finally, you can
Well,
stop
we're-
messaging me, start ordering.
Well, we're filming this ahead of time, so hopefully by the 4th of July, it's still out there.
They do sell out quickly, but I'm getting better at putting them back up.
Make sure to have at least 10 on reserve for the 4th of July,
I
okay?
will.
For when the
I will
episode comes
save it
out.
for the 4th
Or
of
else this
July.
is moot.
Yeah.
Yeah, me and Ryan are also on peg warmers occasionally. We
Of
are actually
course.
about to shoot a batch right after
Yeah.
this. Dixie, where can we find you?
I do not wish to be perceived. I'm on Instagram. You can find me on Instagram. I used to have a website, but I let that die.
Oh, okay.
That's
Do you hang out in cemeteries
I
partying?
I do. I spend
Okay,
a
if
lot
you're
of
at a
time. That's my
cemetery-
credentials.
Yeah. Just check out your local cemetery.
Yes, find me at your local cemetery. I'll be dancing nude. Wednesdays
the-
through Fridays.
With
see
a
the-
rubber merkin.
Yes.
Like, oh, okay. Well,
You see
there's
the
no
red
cameras.
lights
I have a
around.
number of merkins. They're not all rubber.
Yeah, and please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Have a great 4th of July. Check out our Patreon. Buy stuff from our merch store. Hit me up on Cameo.
He's famous.
Yes. If you want me to propose to your girlfriend for you, I will. If you want me to
weird.
break up with your girlfriend for you, I will. Whatever you want within reason. The very first cameo I got was from our fan AJ. He was like, make out with Crystal. And I threw up for 10 minutes
Oh,
straight. And then I
God.
went, no.
Disgusting.
But most things are fine. Let me know and I will make those happen. All right. Goodbye, everyone.
Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Check out our other videos and Patreon page.
Talking about tapes.